Hi, I'm Grace here at Central Wellness. Thank you for joining me today for a short therapeutic yoga practice. The practice will be focusing predominantly on freeing and loosening up around the upper part of the chest, the thoracic spine, the shoulders, the rippling kind of up into the neck and the throat and the jaw. Often an area where a lot of unconscious patterns of tension are held within the body, the nervous system taking in the impacts, and it kind of really sits in the body, particularly in those areas. So working with a lot of loosening and freeing movements. So let's start lying down. I've got a blanket behind my head to support. Feet wide, knees knocking together, constructive rest position. Just to begin in a very grounded place, hands resting down to the belly. Just drop the head a little side to side, feeling the weight to the back of the skull. Notice that my shoulders are not onto the blanket, so there's a natural curvature we're keeping along the spine. Take a moment to settle. And in this position, supine, the body is no longer kind of working against gravity. We can allow ourselves to release down, to release across the chest. Maybe you feel that behind the back of the shoulders. So we're not holding the body upright. Maybe move the jaw around. And find a sigh or a yawn escapes out during this practice. It's all good signs. And then as you feel ready, maybe you can just close your eyes, drawing your attention down into your hands and feeling into the most fluid part of yourself, your breath. Notice if your breath is located more in the upper part of the chest, or maybe you begin to sense the breath more down into the belly. Does the breath feel shallow or labored? The quality of your breath. Is the quality of your energy. Just really bringing awareness into yourself, settling, arriving. Any sensation that's particularly calling your attention can be helpful to just label. So we're not pushing anything away in the practice. There's no judgments or expectations, just really curiosity. You can see if you can breathe down into your hands, just settling, arriving. And then we'll bring your knees into your chest. And the hands here are still on the belly. It's this feeling of just gathering into the center. And just as I'm doing, just starting some gentle kind of circling around the sacrum. Keep the knees together. You might drop the knees a little out to the side and feel that movement around the belly. Down around the tailbone, the lower back, the arching and the flattening, undulation around the pelvis. And then start to feel that rippling all the way up. You might find your shoulders are moving a little bit, the back of the skull. So in this exploration and loosening and freeing. And now bring your hands to the back of your knees and feel a little bit of more weight of just letting the hands and the thighs rest down onto the lower back. So the belly drops, the thighs gently press down. And long breath out. And then placing your feet flat. And again, if it's more comfortable, take the constructive rest. But bring your awareness all the way down the body to the feet. And just for a moment, press your feet down and feel, again, that movement along the spine. You might feel the lower back flatten. And then release. Reach the arms up. Let's call this zombie arms. And then I want to tense your hands. I want to really bring your fingers wide apart and feel that tension right up into your fingers. And now you might start to feel tension through your arms. You might even find that your belly feels a little tight. You might even be holding your breath. And then just let that kind of the arms go floppy, the fingers droopy, shoulders drop, belly soft. And again, wide with the fingers, spread, spread, spread. So feel into tension. Notice this is not just located into that one area, but you might again feel the belly a little tense or the breath held. And then soft fingers, just shake a little of the wrists. And we'll bend the elbows, wrap the right elbow on top of the left. See if you can bring your fingertips around to the back of the ribs. And this moment of compassionate kindness to yourself. Nice big hug. And then extend the arms up again. Cross the left elbow on top of right. And again, a little bit of movement into the back of the ribs, curling the fingers round. Each exhale, letting the belly drop. And again, extend the arms up, back up into those zombie arms. And we're going to start to reach the right fingertips up towards the ceiling. So feel that reach, again, to the fingertips, but also down the arm to the right shoulder. You might feel it to the ribs, down into the right hip. And then I want you to let the right shoulder, the right hip, even the belly drop. So again, reach up through the left fingertips. So as if you're trying to reach something off the top shelf. There's a moment of extension. There's a little bit of tension. And then release. Belly drops, shoulder drops. And right side, so we've got a little side to side extending and releasing. Extending, so the left shoulder lifts. Keep the weight though in the back of the skull, but feel the movement around the back of the skull. Right side, again you might feel the movement all the way down to the sacrum. And release. And left. And exhale. Last time, right. Extend and reach up. Exhale and release. Left, extend and reach. And release. And again, right elbow on top of left. Wrap the fingers around. Settle for a breath. Compassionate, kind awareness. Extend the arms up. Left elbow crosses on top of right. Fingertips wrap round. A slight tuck of the chin. Feel the weight in the back of the skull. And then release the arms out wide. So you can turn the palms up. And get a little free around the shoulders. And just take that movement to let the shoulders drop. Make sure back of the skull still stays supported. And then again, we'll bring the knees into the chest. So again, that feeling of just gathering, letting the lower back press down. And circling the knees around again. This time, see if you get a little bit looser in that movement. So you really feel the flattening and the arching. Letting that ripple up the central axis, the spine, into the neck. Circling round, changing direction. It's just free, loose movements from the belly out. And draw the knees in. Extend the left leg long. So left leg all the way down on the mat. And bring your right foot flat, knee bent. And take a big full breath in. So as we take the breath in, see if you can press for your right foot and start to turn your chest and your hips towards the left. As if you're taking kind of a yawn, as if you're just waking up. And now we need to reach in and explore that movement. Maybe your right fingertips reach to the top corner of the mat. So there's, again, a feeling of reaching out. And then as you release, the shoulder drops, the right hip drops, the belly drops back to center. Let's take that one more time. Inhaling. So again, let this be very much more an exploration in the movement. There's not set range. You might really let yourself roll a little over to the left. So there's a back bend, there's an arch, and there's a reach. And then importantly, the release as you come back to center. Good. Extend the right leg long. Bend your left knee. Make sure the skull is still supported, shoulders soft. And then inhaling, pressing into the left foot. So we start from that grounded place, from the feet, from the ground upwards, to then explore into the arch and reach. Again, your head turning, reaching to your fingertips, arching into the back. The sweetness of the breath in and the release of the breath out. As you come back, belly drops, left shoulder, left hip releases. Inhaling. So it's unrushed, exploring the movement, enjoying the sense of freedom in the body, not feeling the end range, nothing to push to. And then releasing, coming back to center. Let's extend the left leg long for a moment and just feel the body as a whole. And draw the knees back into the chest. Again, that gathering back into center. Circling the knees around. Maybe you're getting a little bit more explorative in that. Your knees kind of circling in different directions. Playing a little bit, again, and freeing up around the hips, the shoulders, side to side. And then letting that come into a side-to-side movement and a very free twist. So we're not trying to in any way push into the movement, dropping the knees side to side. And again, feeling that rippling up the spine. So the head turns, maybe the shoulders lift. Be mindful of the lower back. Just rocking, loosening, freeing movement. It's a lovely practice to take kind of at the end of the day. And then again, we gather back. Wrap the arms now around the tops of the thighs, the knees, gently feeling the weight again. Lower back release. And bring ourselves over to the right side. So you're into a fetal position. And feel the sense of just curling right in. Very safe here. Back of the body curling round, protecting the front of the body. This might feel a very kind of natural place for you. Let's take a big inhale. And I want to roll back to center and come into a big star shape. So legs wide, arms wide. And really feel the difference in that shape. Now the front of the body open, lifting up. Big wide, expansive experience in the body. Inhaling. Fingertips to toes, exhaling, drawing that back into the belly, into center. Good, draw your knees in and curl all the way over to the left. Again, into that fetal position. So then the head stays supported. Try not to tense around the shoulders. Feel the back of the body curling, protecting the front of the body. Deep full breath in. And then again, as you exhale, come wide back into that big star shape. Reach. Feeling the full extension of the body. Exhale, curling back in. Roll to the right to fetal. Inhale here. Exhale, star. Inhale, expand. Exhale, curl to the left. Let's take it a couple more times, side to side. Big breath in, curled in. Extend and reach. Curling in. And extending and reaching. Just stay in that 5, big star position. And then gather again, knees into the chest, arms wrap around. Coming back to a sense of wholeness. Safe within the body, coming home. Good, bring the feet flat. Again, we'll drop our knees over to the right. This time extend your right arm out. So again, the support of the blanket behind the back of the head, keeping the shoulder though free. And the left arm comes on top of the right palm. So bring your palm to palm. You might even bring your left fingertips a little further forward and we'll explore opening. Feeling into the back of the body now exposed. The back of the ribs. So if it feels uncomfortable to have your knees stacked, always place a block or a cushion between the thighs. And then I'm going to trace your left fingertips along the inside of the right arm. Just feeling that sensory experience, kind, compassionate touch to yourself. Trace your fingers across the center, across your heart. Start to bring the arms wide. Feeling a twist from the belly, turning your head, following your gaze to the left. And then draw your knees, gather it back to center. This time drop your knees over to the left. Right arm reaches up, a big semicircle. Bring your right fingertips again. Maybe you can get a little feeling of reaching the right fingers past the left. Exposing the back of the body, curled in again. And very much that sense of safety to explore, to feel at home with what arises from this very grounded, safe space. Begin to trace your right fingers along the left hand and enjoying that sensory touch to yourself. Cross the heart space and the weight to the back of the skull. The right arm extends wide. The head drops. So although the feet and the arms are moving in opposite directions, there's a sense of the movement coming from the center, extending out. And again, as we draw the knees in, we gather back into that hole, wrap the arms around. Bring your feet flat, knees up, hands behind the head. And here again, make sure the shoulders are free, just there's some support behind the back of the head. And trying not here to get into the doing of the movement. It's very easy to get tied into that relationship of doing. So chin slightly tucked. And just feeling neutral baseline here. So you might feel a natural curvature through your lower back. Natural curvature up around the cervical spine, around the neck and the shoulders. Maybe your elbows touch, maybe not. And then I want you to try and really press your elbows and your forearms down into the mat. And you might exaggerate slightly and feel that in the back of the body contracting. So you might feel more of an arch into the back and a contraction between your shoulder blades. Lengthening through the front of the body. And as you take your next exhale, I want you to draw your elbows up towards the ceiling. So now you start to feel as you curl your chin slowly up towards your chest, keeping the shoulders soft, a contracting in the front of the body, an opening in the back of the body. And then slowly releasing, feeling along the spine, weight to the back of the skull, elbows wide. Again, just release and find the baseline. Let's take that 2 more times. Inhaling, pressing the elbows, the forearms down, contracting the back of the body, lengthening the front of the body. So you find that polar opposites in the movement. Elbows lift up, chin tucks, curling and rounding. Keep the shoulders soft. Again, don't get too tied up into that doing. Feel into it for the range of the movement for you. And then rolling. Weight to the back of the skull, elbows drop. Inhaling, press the elbows, the forearms down, arch into the back, mindful of the lower back. And then curling, rounding, feeling of drawing in now, lifting yourself up, shoulders stay soft. Notice any tension coming up to the jaw. And then slowly weight at the back of the skull. So we're not rushing, elbows wide. Take a big deep breath in. And let's together sigh that out. Extend the legs long. Maybe reach the arms up over the head and just take a natural stretch. And release. Feeling these movements are very kind of instinctual. And then we'll settle for a moment to Shavasana. So this is the time just to integrate as we began, very grounded. Always be with the knees bent, constructive rest. But if it works for your lower back, and just for a moment lay the body out. And that be homing and befriending of yourself. Have a sense of gratitude for this practice, for your body, for this moment. So please take longer if you have the time. There's some more guided meditations. I'd like, if you want to join me, to take us up to seated. So turn your kneecaps up towards the ceiling. Bring your feet flat. Press the lower back down into the mat. Draw your knees back into your chest. And make your way over to one side. Keeping the head heavy. So lead with the body from the ground up. Let's come up to sit. Just this last moment, comfortable seat, tall through the spine. Doesn't need to be cross-legged. But just feeling now more from the effects of the practice as we bring the spine more into the upright position. Maybe less of the need to kind of hold. Just observing the effects of your practice. Observing the breath. Hands to heart space. Moment of thanks, gratitude. Thank you for joining me today.